Best of Bordeaux, bravely in the lead from Coolangatta. Coming through is Fireburn with a big run off the fence, and Fireburn charges home and gives Gary Portelli his second golden sliver.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I'm joined in studio by Walt, who's been wallered by with Surefire last week.
I keep going to, you put it in as a tip. I come in here and said, this is a Surefire wallop. This is why you can't tip this horse. And then I've been lumped with it as a tip when we got the pure example of what he loves to do second up. And it went like a rocket. And I'm sure third up it'll probably win a Group 1. And that's when you do get the super waller. It's like the jams you first up, jams your second up, jams it right up your third up. Great stable.
Fascinating to see what happens. A little bit of an each-way play there from Walt. I'm still not sure what he's talking about. But how's Melbourne town? I hear it's spring has sprung down there. Beautiful weather all week, and Scooty jumps on the plane, the Savo. It's going to absolute SHIT. DK.
Bit of rain down here, bit of rain floating around. Bendigo's just been abandoned, but, oh, mate, a lesser man wouldn't be here, Nico. A lesser man wouldn't be here. Can't back a winner. I've got a filthy big sty right in my eye here. That even hurts to blink. But, you know, I'll take one for the team. I'm here for the people. So, anyway, we've got rain. I thought, oh, beautiful. Looked at the, can't back a winner, but look, you know, you get out of bed, you bounce back the next day. And so, Swan Hill, Bendigo, Echuca are all my neck of the woods. All joints are like betting that. And there's 30 mils of rain forecast northwestern Victoria. So that's good when Bendigo's off. Swan Hill's going to go from good 4 to God knows what tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, Nico, how are you going? You're coming off a good day yesterday, so you can spark things up.
We had a good start to the day, DK. We had the ham and cheese, tomato toast.
We did.
Cafe.
They are elite.
They are grouse.
Yeah, so we are up and about, Scooty. We've had the grouse ham, cheese and tomato toasty from the joint on the corner here. They are very, very good. We're both connoisseurs of that. We haven't got to the trackscran segment yet, but very good, Nico. Good start to the morning.
DK, you should be up and about. I'm tipping you got a big futures ticket. Mr. Brightside's been your horse since day dot. This horse looks like it's going to win a Cox Plate.
Me, futures, me. Anyway, but I'll see his old David Hazer asked me the other day because should he go to the Cox Plate, should he go to the Caulfield Cup, and he said definitely go to the Cox Plate. I mean, I had a look at the TopSport market for that, and I think there's Zaki and Animo and him. They're the only 3 in single figures, I think. So yep, so he's got those to beat, whereas you go to the Caulfield Cup, you don't know what you're racing against. He said, take on who you know. So, but anyway, but it was a barrier trial the other day, wasn't it, Mr. Brightside? Nico, barrier trial, what'd they go? 14 links below on the punting form for the first 600 or to the 600.
Tone and the quickest, I think, last 4 and 2 of the day. So
I mean, it's good. It's good from a horse who's going to get over ground to be able to.
We didn't learn anything from it, though, did we?
No. So, yeah, not at all. So it was a barrier trial.
The Melbourne Cup and Caulfield Cup noms come out. So, DK, I'm tipping you haven't had a look through any of them. Not much that I can see that tickles a fancy this far out.
I didn't skirt. Of course, I mean, you were just trying to dig one in the ribs there. You knew I wouldn't have looked at them. But I did go and have a look, because it was on the run sheet, I did go and have a look at the TopSport markets, which are more relevant than the bloody noms, just to peruse and see what's there. And I saw, the Melbourne Cup, the top 3 are imports. So it's just a snooze fest as usual. All the horses at the top of the market wouldn't have a clue who they are. The only bloke who likes them is that Rory Flemington bloke who's obsessed with overseas form. And then the Caulfield Cup, I think Douay's favourite, and Mr. Brightside was actually Mr. Brightside and Surefire were equal picks. One's won by 6 links and one got beaten 6 links last week. So just shows how things can change.
And they've not locked in yet which way they're going. They're sort of still, Cox Plate's still in their mind as well, which seems a bit strange, but he's been getting advice that that's the way to go.
Ducks and Drakes. I'm interested to see who goes where. Nico, is there anything that you've sort of nibbled or taken your fancy since Tuesday? Any surprise backers?
Not really. I didn't really have a good look at him either. The only horse I've backed in the Cup so far is Interpretation, who actually runs on Saturday. Gets the blinkers on, but he's drawn the car park, so I don't even know if he will go around. And if he does, he might be set a bit of a task. But yeah, it's not really Cup season yet, is it? You kind of got to get to Turnbull Day and those kind of days before you can figure out the Cups. Whereas, this Saturday, Makybe Diva Stakes Day, with that big race, and last week with the Fiend, that's sort of a bit more of a guide towards your Cox Plates and those kind of races, and Zaki first up. But figuring out the Cups is still a good month away before you can really sink your teeth into them.
Off a Kerrang jump out, isn't the interpretation? A Kerrang jump out? Just the old Paddy Payne job, didn't he? Just go there to stretch the legs?
I did hear that Kerrang track was extremely heavy,
so
I'd be forgiven anything that jumped out there. Apparently, you just couldn't pick your legs up, so I wouldn't be looking too much into that one.
The training methods these days, I just take them all, just for a trip in the float and Mate, Paddy Payne, I mean, he took a couple there, they just dead set beating 100 yards. But they just go there for the day out.
It's interesting stuff, and Billy Egan obviously is on the sidelines as well, so hopefully he's recovering. But speaking of Turnbull Stakes Day, we've got a big betting tournament. I've spoken about this a couple of times on the show. We've finally lined up all the boys to have a bit of a crack, and this one is going to be an absolute beauty. So it's going to be 2 race days, and it's going to be 2 weeks apart. So we're going to have a semi-final set up with 4 teams fighting it out. So there'll be A, B versus C, D. So we've got 4 candidates. And then whoever qualifies in the semi-final, we've just got a graphic up on screen now. So we're going to call it Little Birdie Master Punter 2022. So we'll have 2 teams fighting it out on Turnbull Stakes Day and Epsom Day, which is a massive, massive day there. So no excuses for not being able to find a winner. And it looks like a pretty fair setup there. And then the grand final will be on Caulfield Cup and Everest Day there. So it's going to be a beauty. So we've got Mark Lambourne from Racing Rant. He'll rep his side there. We've got Walt, who's in the studio with me. And then we've got Johnny McLeod will be there. And then we've got the new Smokey. We've got Anthony Don, who's been on fire with Donny's Best. So you'll be able to buy into all of these guys' banks, but it'll be limited. So we'll cap the banks, but you can back your punter in. And I think it's going to be a pretty interesting concept, this, because we've had Bet Doctor versus a rant. That was a good little setup there. I think we got the gong on the first occasion, and I think it'll be just interesting to see how the guys manage the banks, and then I guess how they bet against each other. And I think we'll put some caps around how many bets you're allowed to have. But just to make sure that the boys are trying, I'll tell you what, the guys at TopSport have done a great job here. They've put up a massive prize. Obviously, we've got a US Masters golf trip lined up for next year. It's almost sold out. I think I've got 1 or 2 tickets to go, but TopSport have been kind enough to put up basically a $20,000 prize for the punter that wins this little tournament. So whoever's master punter out of those 4 teams, one of you boys will be going to Augusta. How do you feel about that, Walt?
Where's it go? Oh, no, I'm only follow the Live Tour now. Can we get a Live Tour event? Is it too late to change it in? They may not have Augusta the way they're going this year. We may have actually stopped Augusta, which could be a great effort. But no, honestly, yeah, well, it's the holy grail for any punter. We may not see Cam Smith there from what I'm told, but or a few of the Aussies leashmen. But, it should be good. And I think all the streams so far have been sort of examples of how people handle different situations, how we sort of try and make the best of whatever we get thrown in front of us and manage it the way we normally would. But this is a little bit more...
This is aggressive.
Yeah, it should be more aggressive, and probably people should take that to account when they're coming into it. But we've sort of done that by capping the banks and that sort of thing. But it's, there'll be no doubt that...
This will be the hardest you'll ever swing.
Well, depending how the day goes, if someone will be swinging at the end of
mouse.
It'd be very unlikely that, someone will be having something small on the last if they're a long way behind. They'll be trying to find a way. So, everyone take that into account, but it should also make it a little bit more exciting. And, the day's racing should be good. Like you say, we're going to have plenty of options. So bring it on.
All right, we've got a little graphic here. Walt sort of rattled me a bit. I thought I'd have him. I was going to do it the old-fashioned way, draw paddle pop sticks, but he's got this magical duck race machine that you can find on the internet. If you Google duck race, you can generate any duck race that you like. So bear with us here. But what we're going to do is we need to draw the semi-finals. So who plays who in week 1? Doesn't matter week 2 because it'll just be whoever progresses from the semi-finals. So we've chosen Walt's lucky number of 23 seconds. So we've named all these ducks here. So duck 1's Walt, Mark Lambourne's in 3, Macbet's in 2, and then number 2, and then Donny's number 4. So whoever's first across the line will play 4th in the semi, and then the 2nd and 3rd across the line in the duck race will play each other. So it's going to be a riveting 23 seconds. It'll be like watching paint dry.
I'm just going to tell you, if I'm last here, it's over. Because I'm the strongest finisher here, but if I sort of jump too hard and overspend and get keen in the run, I probably will knock up. So, but if I'm last, I'll be winning.
You might win the duck race and then just get barreled out week 1.
I'm actually more excited about the duck race than I am the tournament or Augusta, just quietly. So if I get beat here, I may just leave.
Okay, so this is computer generated, so there's no rort or anything. So let's see how we go.
Who's DK tipping before it starts?
I think DK and Nico might have to call the duck race. I tell you what, they're going to be slow out of the gates here. I'll leave it up to the boys in Melbourne to figure out who. But let's see who's going to battle on Turnbull Stakes Day. As I said, first duck across the line will play 4th, and 2 and 3 can be on the other side of the draw. Ready? Are you ready, DK? Excited?
We need press play, will you? Should have been talking over the top of this. racing this time, we need a Travia, mate. You want to be race caller like your brother, Nico?
No, definitely not.
Racing's there's a fairly level dispatch as they get quickly into stride, and it looks like Donny's jumped to the front by maybe a half length. Here comes Lambourne. Lambourne's at the front. From Donny, Backbet getting home late, and Walt Cactus at the rear, as was predicted.
Oh, this is good.
Lambourne beats Macbet, so it's
an all Sydney versus all Brisbane affair.
Going to get the placings then. It was Lambourne, Macbet, Donny, Walt.
Yeah, I think
you
it's...
had to get quick to get those 4 placings, Scoot. That they just concentrate on the winner there.
I've got that.
I think you throw.
So I think it's Mark Lambourne against John Walter on one side of the draw, and then it's Macbet versus...
I shouldn't have said wannabe race caller. That was disrespectful. Your brother's a very fine race caller. I say, you try to take your brother.
That's probably going to be the highlight of the show, I would have thought. The rest of the show is just garbage. Yeah, but we've set the semi-final. So this is it's exciting, isn't it? So you got Mark Lambourne from Racing Rant, who are very much Sydney-based punters, and so is Walt, obviously. And then you've got Macbet, the Queenslander, versus Donny, who he's probably a Queensland specialist, but he does dabble here, there, and everywhere. And everyone's got tentacles and connections all across the industry. So I think they're great semi-finals, and there'll only be one winner. And one of these lucky guys will be going to Augusta. And we've got something also about to drop probably tomorrow. So if you want to go to Augusta yourself, we're going to do a little prize draw, and we'll announce it tomorrow. And for a very small fee, you buy a raffle ticket, and you might be able to go to Augusta for $50. So that'd be a great gift for someone if someone's birthday's coming up, or you've forgotten Father's Day, or want to buy a Christmas gift for your old man. For $50, you'll be able to get him a wild card in to go to Augusta. So that'd be pretty cool. None of my mates or family can win it, but
half his birthday next Friday, mate, if you're worried. So you can get him a couple of tickets, and we'll be right. I'll bring you to Augusta.
Okay, so just head to littlebirdie.tv if you want to have or hear any more information about jumping into the stream. And then again, if you want to enter the draw and the raffle for a trip of a lifetime to Augusta to go watch the 2023 US Masters, it'll be a week-long trip, and it'll be just absolutely off its head. So got a massive month up ahead, but as we said, Turnbull Stakes Day is not until I think the 1st of October, and then the grand final will be on Caulfield Cup. So it's the 15th.
So I've got to back up the day after my 40th straight into this. You're good people. You're good people.
You don't drink.
I might.
That's right.
What are you going to do? I have too much lemonade. You might might work.
Wait, what about the preparation time? What, am I not allowed to celebrate with my family?
The excuses are coming already. You're rattled. You got Perla first up, and you're rattled.
You're kidding. Well, like you've got a 1 in 4 chance to win a $20,000 prize, and he's blowing like all those live streams we did, Nico, and then no prizes. You know, he wants to blow about bloody.
Yeah, there's no invite for us in this little competition, was there? No
1 in 4 chance for 20,000. He should be climbing over himself to get there.
You offering a price 1 in 4? Am I? Is that the
He's trying to sandal you as well.
I'm getting 3 to 1.
DK, just watch what you say here, because I think the next one might be a country Victoria circuit. We might.
Are they on my team?
Yeah, now you're talking.
Are the boys down there on my team? Are they helping me, or what's going on?
We've spoken.
We haven't got a Vic to cheer for, have we, Nico?
No.
DK can do the 2 maidens for the day.
Mexico and the banana benders.
Can we be brought? I can be brought, I reckon.
You don't even spend. You got $500 voucher that's been sitting there 3 months.
I haven't needed it.
There will be a couple of trick shots here, so it'll be definitely entertaining stuff. So
how far out can we play all ups? Can I start from now? Just start feeding things into the 1st of October.
Final field. So we'll lock the banks early, and then once the final fields come out, and once we level all the banks up, might be Thursday night or something like that, or Friday, and then you guys can sort of let rip from there. But it'd be tricky. We'll have to put on a TV show. DK, you might come in on the Saturday for the semi-final and stir him up on the couch.
Yeah, that'll be me. Yeah, that might be my gig. Yep, get on the drink and flare up a bit. Bit of content.
All right, it's going to be beauty, and it's brought to you by TopSport and Punting Form, the ultimate comparison tool. It's got the class benchmark, sectionals, dual norms, black book. It's got the lot. Nico and I swear by it. As you can see if Mr. Brightside was a walking race or how fast he went versus other times historically. So you can see if your eyes have indeed lied or not. TrackScran at TrackScran on Twitter. This is a beauty. We've got a couple of absolute corkers here. Gilgandra, which is maybe 100 k's north or so of Dubbo. They do free steak sandwiches, water and soft drink from everyone. That's
a steak sandwich.
Yeah, there's a bit of steak under there. Looks like a filthy little bit of Scotch fillet, onions, and it could be butter or mustard on the top. That's all right. For free. It's free. Well, free.
It's overpriced.
Hey?
It's overpriced.
I'd eat that. You just rip a bit of the fat off and I'd eat.
That looks like, and I know he's a man of the past, but that looks like a leftover mugged meal.
I'd eat it. DK would.
Oh, yeah, I'd love that sort of stuff, the old-fashioned country barbecue. And the onions are the trick there. I mean, that'd look pretty plain if it was just a bit of Joe Blake. But got onions, onions elevate everything. If you go to a sausage sizzle, hamburger, sausage, everything, you got to put the onions. They elevate it. And then as you get older, Nico, you got to reach for the mustards, as your tastes develop and things like that. So, just all that stuff.
Was that what was that? Was that? So he's hosing everyone today. He's just told Nico that his taste buds haven't developed yet.
No, all the young blokes, you push the boundaries as you get older. I put chili on everything now.
Oh, the anchovies. Are we still in the flavour bomb?
Anchovies, yeah. That's what happens when you get older, mate. You got to ramp things up.
You evolve.
Yeah.
You evolve.
I'll tell you what, there's a few people campaigning for free entry into race courses, but I think you just need to flip it around and say, okay, we'll still pay you $10 entry, but we'll offer a free spread. I think Gil Gandra are ahead of their time. Well,
not if you watch their races. If you ever watch it, and if you're cold calling them, oh my god, yeah. Maybe they're ahead of their time in a few ways, but they're stuck in the 80s. But anyway,
Wyong gets the gong here. The winner is the Gosleme. It's the beef, cheese, and spinach. $12 at Wyong. I went through the comments. I think there was about 20 people that sampled this one. That looks unbelievable. And someone tagged me in and said, mate, have a look at this. And I said, that wouldn't be out of place at South Melbourne Vic markets or any of the quality markets. That's an absolute cracker. Slice of lemon.
I love that sort of shit. I love it. Anything like
seems to be the out wide joints that seem to have all the good stuff. Like,
yeah,
there's no one posting anything from the city tracks.
What a shock.
Is anyone going?
All the country tracks.
Probably.
It seems like more people are going to the country tracks than the city. Like there's barely any posts. We had your pizza the other day, Nico, and it's been, the Medallion Bar at Caulfield seems well attended, but apart from that, I don't know that anyone's going to the races. I still need confirmation for Glenn Pollitt's 3/4 sandwich out of Ranvet.
Yeah.
Whether that's a true story or not. Anyway.
No comment.
Manscaped 20% off. I haven't got any product in my hand. It's probably because I've done a full shave down for my trip to Melbourne. 20% off using the code Little Birdie, so you can get the pills sorted now that winter's over. Or it's over up here. It's beautiful up at the Gold Coast, but it just never ends down in Melbourne. So make sure you go to the manscaped.com shop, 20% off using the code Little Birdie, and get around them. Today's show is Donnie's Good. Two nice placings at odds last week, I thought. Bit stiff with Sue style, half missed a kick, then had to kick up. I think it got out to big odds late. And then Transformation, the other tip that he picked was 17 into about $8, and I think it just ran into a pretty smart one there, or a horse ready to roll, and I think it fell in for a place for memory. So I think you got $4 a place, Transformation. It was about 800 bets ago for you, Walt.
800 races ago, not many bets, but yeah, jeepers creepers.
A huge day this Saturday with the Run to the Rose cracking, a few question marks over a couple of the Portelli runners resuming, and then you got Best of Bordeaux. Is he ready this week, or is he still a run away? Very disappointing first up at the shorts. And then you got TopSport Steamers. Willinga Beast got really close. Great bet last week. That was 500 at 13. It was hammered day of. It was $10 into 650. So if you blink, you missed that one. I was sort of seeing what the market did, and then whoosh, went off.
Bit of intent. Well, yeah, and then there was that thing of Willie Pikes. There's some huge moves there last week, wasn't it? Just because that sort of the track took a lot of horses out of play, and the markets these days, they don't move, like you say, they don't move 10 to 8 is a good move, 10 to $4 is a move. Like it's a different world. But yeah, a couple of them landed. Willinga was a bit stiff, wasn't it? Just worked pretty hard outside lead, and bone and muscle kick back. Timmy, too good.
Beat the Doctor Lays of the week. We've got another one scratch. Montefilia scratch D Payne. He was pretty scathing, I thought, yesterday, D Payne, about the track.
I didn't hear him. He's a pretty straight shooter, though. He doesn't pull many punches. He doesn't like being jabbed himself, so he's a funny cat, but doesn't surprise me if he was a grumpy Smurf.
He said it, yeah, he rubbished the track, so that's why Montefilia was saved for another day. We got a cracker this week, Flemington, and Nick, I'll talk about that in a minute. Makybe Diva Stakes, as he said, a bit of a turning point for the Cox Plate horses, and horses maybe on a Caulfield Cup path kicking off, or even some Melbourne Cup aspirants. But make sure you check out TopSport Best of the Best, and you can do odds to win $5,000 on all the Group 1. So that's where you need to play, and make sure you support the local bookies, which is TopSport. Nico, Flemington track this week. You mentioned rain. How How do you think it's going to fare?
So a bit of rain around today, by the looks of it, and probably tomorrow. But it's had some really good drying days. So I think the track's probably closer to a 4 than a 5 at the moment. I'd be expecting it's at least a 5 on Saturday, and could even get to a 4 later in the day. Would be sort of my thoughts. But I think most likely soft 5 on Saturday.
Got me excited. Everyone was telling me it's going to be a heavy track, always known as drying well, but
exceptionally well.
Yeah,
it's not.
I think the key to it is it's a lot drier at the moment than say like Moonee Valley was last week when they copped all the rain or things like that. Like it's borderline a 4 now. So the way it drains, it'll probably just stay in that sort of area, which is good. Good for a big day out at HQ. Keen.
Should be a cracker. I'm going to go to the races. I'm not a big fan of going, but I'm going to go.
You're going to Flemington?
Yep.
Shaq going to be there?
Nikki from Siccone's, and we're going to go to Siccone's for dinner that night, so I haven't got brushed.
What about Tommy's new girl?
Who?
Phoebe or whatever her name is. Or
Phoebe? We might take her to the races and show her the ropes.
I think you're going to have to get a pretty hammered to get Tommy across the line, but that's just my feeling.
Tommy who?
Tommy, the big Bertha bloke up here. What's his name?
Henjack.
Yeah.
Turbo.
You just given him up, haven't you?
Huh?
Hey?
No, hasn't he been sliding into the DMs? Hasn't he been having a shot at the title?
You're horrible with secrets.
And then, how is that a secret?
Yeah, I just don't know.
He's no chance, so it's not a secret. Then you've had to drop it on him that he's Miss Universe or something, and Tommy slides back to the end of the queue.
All right, so if
Stick
you want,
with Bertha.
Don't tell Wall any secrets, because Tommy Henjack's going to be up in my grill after giving him up there.
What about?
Okay.
He's good. He's aiming high. So he should.
The Sofitel race 4, Flemington's the first one that Nico's going to have a look at. Bermudez's favourite here, which is interesting. First up, $4.80, Pinstripe $5.50, Scolopini $5.50, El Rocco $7, Blazer Trail $11, Our Playboy $12, Blue Army $14, Lightsaber $18, Chartres is $21, and then you got Media Award, Viral, High Stranger, Romancer, and then hundreds or around that mark. The rest, we're going to have a look at Blazer Trail, Mildura Cup win from the Mar Eustace yard. In the yellow, PR here that put him away nicely, Nico.
Yeah, I think in this race, like Bermudez, Pinstripe are probably definitely better horses than Blazer Trail, but just don't know if they're set up as well as him on Saturday. This was a big win, running fast time here at Mildura. Plenty of form to come out of this race. I think the second horse come out and won since. One of the horses out the back run really well. There's plenty of place getters out of it. It was just a really good foundation. Yes, he did kind of PR, but this is a big rating. Got about 9.5 lengths above relative to open class there, which, you know, is at Mildura, so that could probably be skewed a little, but I think it's going to rate well everywhere, which it's all the market's going to care about. So
for Birmingham horse, he's a big, strong, fast leader, isn't he?
He won out of the race.
But he sets up a fast tempo,
yeah, exactly.
Doesn't he?
He's had, 4 runs for Mar Eustace? 5 runs for Mar Eustace, sorry. 3 of them that have been on good tracks, he's won. I think he's going to be somewhere getting close to the good track there on Saturday. And if it worse, it's a 5. He's just a dead set dry tracker. I think the wet track form you can kind of pen, and all of his good track form. He's around the mark in nearly all races. He's run a place in nearly all of them. The only one he didn't, he ran 5th over 1,300. So I think he just gets a pretty good setup here. They've been waiting for a sort of drier ground for him. That's why he hasn't run for sort of 50 days. But not the camp I'd worry about too much about that sort of stuff. They seem to be pretty good at sort of keeping him up. And yeah, a few whispers in the camp and that sort of thing. My dad has a bit to do with this horse throughout time, and they said the horse is going really well. It's just they've been waiting for this sort of right setup. So I think out to 14, or stays at 1,400, out of the fast run race, has to go forward from the map, probably sits 1 out, 1 back, maybe outside lead, 2 pairs back, 1 off. I don't think the race shape's going to work out too bad for him. I just thought he's going to look a big chance at some stage in this race. I thought $11 was a big price. I think he probably starts shorter, and I think at some stage in the race he'll look probably your winner. Whether Pinstriped and Bermudez are just a bit better than him, not 100% sure, given they've got some bigger sort of tasks later in the spring. But I thought double figures was big odds. I think he'd definitely start shorter.
Don't you just start with look for Sydney form? So that horse got a little bit of Sydney form still remaining in it. It's a little bit poxed now because it's been in Mexico for a while, so it'll be slow. It'll be getting slow start by start. And then you've got the Brisbane form, which is just dominant down there now. So that's Scolopini. Don't you just head there? So it hasn't been in Melbourne long enough. 1 run. Mr. Brightside just wins because it's, Mexican forms tripe. Isn't that not the easiest way to do it?
Not sure.
Pinstripe's got good Mexican form. He did run in the All-Star Mile and should have won the Australian Guineas. It's just he's drawn barrier 16 here. As you'd probably know, DK, spending a while in the game. It's not a great place to draw wide, 1,400 at Flemington.
First up too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
first up, second prep too, isn't it?
Yeah. But he's going to be improved horse. He did all that in his first prep, that other stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think he'll be the best horse out of the race. Just there might be some vulnerability there on Saturday, whereas Blazer Trail's there, and it can be these races can be good to be, hard fit right
forward.
spot, and you just got to get away with one.
That's August, early September racing, isn't it?
Yep.
It's a funny one. Like a horse like our Playboy, I noticed he's 21 into $12, but 5 of his 6 wins have been on rain-affected ground. So I'm not sure if he's going to be as effective. You've got a horse like El Rocco. I don't mind, the spec at the price, Nico. I don't mind the angle.
He's a better horse than El Rocco, Blazer Trail. I'd have him shorter than him.
All right, good way to start. Nice little each way bet. I'll be steaming in for sure. Makybe Diva Stakes. This is an interesting one. I'm Thunderstruck. It's $2.25. Alligator Blood $5. Waltz knocked the price off here. Cascadian $5.50. Western Empire $6.50. Moanga $9.50. Regal Power $19. She's Ideal $31 and $34. Nonconformist. Interesting run from it first up, and then better suited here. I think the replay that we're going to have a look at here is the Memsey Stakes, and you can see Snap Dancer controlling up in front, kicks clear on the turn, and then you've got I'm Thunderstruck in the big blinkers. Western Empire probably settled a little bit more forward than usual. You've got Cascadian back in the ruck, hitting the line pretty nicely.
The blood running up their backsides.
Yeah, you've got Lightsaber, who's in the Sofitel on the fence, sort of just whacking away. He's a big gross horse, needs plenty of work to get going. And then you've got sort of Nonconformist just coming through the line late there as well.
Yeah, there's plenty going there, wasn't there? Look, I'm Thunderstruck was definitely the run of the race, but that
ain't apples to apples.
That was a good setup, wasn't it? Like barrier 9, he sort of
that's what he wants.
The blending run down the middle.
See him lay in, and he lays in. He needs room to sort of come and lay in.
Now he's got barrier
1. That's the worst possible barrier you could have drawn. Barrier 1.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the market hasn't factored it in that much.
The market, we said about this last week, he should have probably gone up 250, 260. We'll put him up 225 or 240, whatever he is. I mean, that's what they're doing with all the favourites in those. We've got 130% to play with. And should, just put them up 3 rolls under what they should be, because they'll all put them in the multis and everyone's tipping them and everything.
I heard Ben Asgari talking about this last night on Contenders. You probably would have got like 260 this horse if you had a drawn barrier 8, 250, because they would have thought, just the way those price assessors work, and the early punters. But yeah, I think this is probably the worst setup for him. I can't see him starting anywhere near 225. I think he has to start 280. I think there's a fair chance you even get $3 on the day. I reckon there's probably going to be good support for Alligator Blood, who just maps the lead, gets TC back aboard, and just had a bit of a look around there first up. Bit of a barrier trial, really didn't get out. I think he would have been right in the finish of that race. Gets out to 1600. He's got some big sort of Flemington 1600 metre figures throughout his career, and is a winner at the track and trip. I know it's gone back a while, but the syndicates are definitely going to have a look at him. Western Empire, they're obviously looking at his figures. He started favourite in the Memsey. They were jumping out of trees to back him. I imagine that's off his figures over in Perth. His Railway Stakes win rated enormous. They're probably going to have a look at him again at $6.50, given SPs and all those kind of things, and he gets out to 1600. The knock with him is he didn't carry a lot of weight sort of last prep, especially that figure in the Railway. Like he only had 53 kilos. Now he's got to carry 59 kilos and sort of match it with a few weight for age horses. I'm Thunderstruck. He's the weight for age horse, so I have no doubt about that. He can definitely win. I don't know if you want to be backing him at 225. If he got $3, it might be sort of a different case. I'd be surprised if Cascadian.
It went good first up, though, Cascadian. It was a good run.
Yeah, he'd be the one in the market I'd probably knock. He's very consistent, but I think if the others get a few more things in their favour, I think they're just better horses than him. Okay. So, if I had to bet in the race, I'd probably back Alligator Blood and Western Empire at the prices, but it seems like a big sit-out race for me.
Oh, yeah, I just thought we talked about earlier week that just off noms, there was no speed. Alligator Blood, Timmy going back down $8 each way. Looked a very good play and happy to be on. I just thought he's going to lead, he's going to kick. If they leave him alone, he can run home as fast as anything in this race. And, like Western Empire's a pretty good horse, potentially to be sitting outside and running cover for him too. Sort of just got going again through the line there, but probably gets out sprinted by Alligator Blood if they run the race that way. And as long as nothing sort of paws it on early, I think he's going to run a hell of a race here. He's done a lot of work since, a couple of good hard gallops, another one tomorrow or today. What day is it? Thursday. And Yeah,
Who's that? Western Empire?
No, this is Alligator Blood.
Alligator Blood.
Yeah, he needed the run there, and that was the only worry. Like, I know he had a bit of a barrier trial run, but I would have probably liked to see him get bashed a bit. But Gay has been in Melbourne for at least a week, so they won't have missed him, and he'll be ready to go on Saturday.
I think it's a rosary beads job for I'm Thunderstruck. I love this horse. I sort of bet up as hard as I could last start at big price. I couldn't believe they bet sort of $11. Egg on my face, snapped answer too good, but and even
best way's the coffin, and worst way's 3 back the fence.
Yeah, like I couldn't encourage anyone to back him. I'd sort of need $3.50 or sort of $4 to back him from buried like that.
And if he's behind leader, you're tipping they're going pretty slow too, which is going to make his job pretty tough.
Yeah,
he's going to lay in when he goes for him.
Yeah, and I think he needs 2,000 metres to sit that close in the run. It's a big worry for me. I think a knockout runner. I love the way nonconformists hit the line last start. So if there's a bit of carnage for Thunderstruck and he's stuck, I could see nonconformist pinching a slot at sort of $5.50, $7 the place. I don't know if he can win, but he's the knockout runner. I thought that'd be suited at Flemington, second up there. But
he's some over sitting outside leader too. And yeah, that wouldn't be a bad spot for him to sort of whack away and run well.
I think it's going to be a fascinating contest, but yeah, not a race that I really want to bet up in at all. The next race that Nico's going to have a look at, I do like. Bobbie Lewis, quality, Group 2, 1,200 metres. You got Swats at for the new camp, 650 into 5, no surprise. Baron Scova is $5, Shooting for Gold 7, Serious Suspect 950, Stageman 950, The Astrologist 950, Baller $13, another Queenslander, Red Can Man 14. You got Rockin' Horse 18 in from 26, Satori 21, Graceful Girl 26, Rahira and 26. And horses like Poland, Holbein and Chat well out of the market there. The replay we're going to have a look at here is Rockin' Horse. New market winner in the green, sort of back buried the fence, exactly where you don't want to be at the Valley in the Carline Stakes, Nico.
Yeah, it wasn't sort of the day to be sort of scouting wider on the track and making your run from back in the field. You wanted to be right up there. I thought this first up run was pretty good. She's not a 1,000-metre horse. All of her best runs are at sort of 1,200, so definitely will improve from this. Thought she had an improvement to come from the yard. You've only got to look back to sort of last operation, like she won the Newmarket here down the straight. I know it was at 100 to 1, and she had a lot of things in her favour that day, but that was in a much stronger race than this. I just thought she was well placed. She's got a good second up record. Everything sort of looked like it works out for her on the map as well. She probably just parks in behind the speed. It looks like a pretty solid tempo here with Red Ken Man and probably Serious Suspect going at it. I just think she could be in a situation where she definitely starts shorter than $21, and she might just get the right sort of run where she's there to pounce and she's just sort of right horse, right time. There's a few horses here who I think may have more ability than her in the long run, but she's going to just be in the right spot. Everything sort of looks well in order for her, and the stable's going very well recently. Team Maroney, they're just training plenty of winners.
How they what? Some of those first starters they've let go of Sandown midweek the last few weeks. Gone like rockets.
So, yeah, I just thought looks big odds here. Like, this is a bit of a raffle kind of race. So you could make a case for a fair few of them, but I thought she should be a lot closer to single figures than, $26 that they went up into 18s. I would be surprised if she didn't start closer to 11s.
Well, she's got the apples to apples figure, hasn't she? I mean,
yeah.
I know it was a funny new market, but it's there. And Swat's that's got. Now, Swat's that down at Cranbourne? Is the old man's joint, or is it Cranbourne 1, Cranbourne 2, or Cranbourne 3?
I don't think he's cited it.
Cited it.
She does look like she's going well at the trials and jump out. She's been absolutely flying there, but that's usual for her. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Maya Eustace improved her, but she's probably at her absolute limit at 1,200 metres. She's a good 1,100, 1,000-metre horse.
Which a few of these are.
She hasn't won for ages, but she's run some great races, especially here at Flemington. Yeah, I was Team Maroney here. I thought Rockin' Horse was a big price. I thought Poland could probably do something first up at massive, massive odds for you. Ran 5th in the Oakley Plate first up last prep. Then he's running the Heath first up the prep before that was really good as well. So I think he'll sprint well fresh, good down in the weights rider. Froggy knew it. He's going to be getting the best out of this also. I think, a few of those big races where you run big, in the Newmarket and that and the Oakley Plate, he had sort of apprentice jockeys on him. Real standover jockey, balanced. Just might be able to get the best out of him first up. He's good fresh. I thought he'll run you a race at 70s. I think he'll be right there in the finish. So, yeah, I thought Rockin' Horse and Poland probably the bets. I could have a look at Stageman with the blinkers on. it's a deep race, but they just looked well over the odds for mine, especially Rockin' Horse.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I can see it starting sort of, as you said, $11 or $12 in the market. Walt, any insight?
No clue there.
Theme of the day, isn't it, Nico? Deep racing.
Oh, it's a tough day. Like, I sort of didn't really have a best bet or anything. The horse I'm probably keenest to back that's single figures is Sir Davy. I think he's in one of the early races, race 2. He probably should be favouring. It was around $5. But yeah, like it's not a day you're going to label anything immoral or anything like that. I don't think anyone's going in with that sort of confidence. But it'll be a day if you find 2 or 3 winners, you're going to be well rewarded because you're probably going to get fat odds about them.
It's like Flemington in the good old days, isn't it? Where you only have to jag a couple of winners, and you get the prize. So I sort of don't mind that, and I think the best bet will be get Nico's Mounting Yard Mail. So $25 a week, you get Wednesdays and Saturday metros. It's all via Telegram. And so you can sign up for longer than just a weekly package. You can get monthly or the rest of the year. So make sure you get around Nico because he'll give you his final thoughts within the last couple of minutes once he sees them parade. Very good at laying horses out of the yard, our man Nico. You ready to go, Walt? You still with us? Rosehill. It's a tricky little card up in Rosehill. Track, weather, what's happening in Sydney?
What is it, a 5-metre rail? I think it is. I should have written that down. But
has it stopped raining?
Yeah, well, it looks okay. But that's what it looked last week, and then whatever happened. The monsoon fell. So Rosehill's been a little bit tricky where, rails in run's usually the thing, and it's been pretty cast, but that was with the true rail out to 5 metres. Hopefully the fence is okay, and they'll probably still get off, 3 or 4 in the straight, even if it's a drying track. But, not an easy meeting, but we'll do our best.
Race 3 is the first one, the Ranvet benchmark 78 over 2,400 metres. Impulsor is the favourite. Mar Eustace, 320. Monte Felicity is 370. First Light, 850. Oz Legend, $9. Saracen Knight, $9.50. Lord Desino is $13. And then you got the Moonlit Gambler at $13. Herman Hess, bit of a bogey horse. People love to pot this horse on Twitter. I think it's a cat. $17. And you got Redino, $18. The replay we're going to have a look at, just to torture Walt, is Monte Felicity. Just peeling out in the blue and the orange with the white sleeves here.
It's an interesting rematch because she was obviously poorly set up this day. She was jumping 18 to 24, I think, and was on the week back up, whereas the winner had a little bit better grounding. But the winner sat outside a really fast tempo here, did all the work, hit the front early, sort of raced away and never really looked like getting headed. She chased really hard, and as much as I'm sort of on Willie Pike's back at the moment, he certainly didn't do anything wrong on Mon Felicity here. And so she gets 2 kilos extra off him, that extra run for setup. And importantly, sort of Pike comes off, J-Mac comes on. So what do you do with that? That's probably the key. His effort was incredible. If you didn't throw the jockey change in, I'd probably just say that Impulsar will probably blow in the market and win again. But he's just so good, isn't he, McDonald? What's he worth? We'll probably find out on Saturday. I don't think there's much between them.
2 kilos plus get J-Mac.
Yeah.
Well, you've been bad. Come on, Walt. Put your nuts on the line here. You've been saying that Willie Pike's
horrendous,
not within
but that's
the
one
first...
of the best steers he's produced in the whole time. Like that horse travelled, got to the right part. He gave it every conceivable, but the problem is that the winner sat outside of like a really fast tempo and never looked like really getting headed. So it is a great little nearly head-to-head race. I can't see anything there that really, can turn the tables on him. I like Rondino as a horse, but getting to 24 in this grade, no. I'd rather it run in the other race where it's first emergency. Wallace throwing the muffs on First Light just to try and confuse everyone. There's nothing there that I can see turning the tables on these two, and it does look a really good, basically, match race. And, balls on the line, I'd have to go Impulsar again. I think it just looks a pretty progressive, nice, strong horse. But, Mon Felicity, J-Mac will have to show what he's made of, I think, to get it home.
2 kilos and then better set up, run under the belt, DK, and then 61 kilos over 2,400 metres. The longer it goes, I don't know if it's probably a false theory or a bit of a mug theory, but up in the weight, 61 kilos of 2,400 metres, that doesn't really suit me. What do you guys think in Melbourne?
Yeah, well, that's the theory. The weights over the further distances when they have more impact. I'm not a big weights guru because I bet in set weight races, but you'd have to ask Nico and Walt better than me. But that's what I was speaking to horse trainers, and back in the old days when I had horses and that, 60 or 2 kilos over 1,000 metres, who gives a shit? But over 2,400, well, that's when they've got to carry the thing.
Yeah, I think more prevalent in the staying races, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. I think the market really factors them in sort of in the longer races as well. If you get horses on the minimum or under the minimum, they have a good look at them.
They love that.
So they definitely love getting under the minimum. So given the weights, it wouldn't be a shock at all with the JMac factor if it started favourite.
I wonder what he's actually. I think it will start favourite for sure.
You got to pay
I wonder
the
what
JMac tax, as you call it. Well,
and sometimes it's worthwhile. But
I'll have a bottle of cooler cordial with you, some Hulk juice. And you can drink it the night before you stream, so you've got no excuses come Turnbull Epsom Day.
I'd say, exactly. I'd say it'll start closer to 2-1 and the other one will start closer to 7-2, and I'd rather back Impulsor at 7-2 than 2-1 the other one. But we'll just I just want to see if they've said what he's actually going to ride it at, because it does seem very light
for him.
For J-Mac. So he's going to ride it at 50. I don't know. Bowman's going to ride his at 56, J-Mac 55. So
half a kilo
so
over.
it's getting 2 instead of 2.5. So it's still the same. Yeah, it's good.
Fascinating match race. We'll call that a bet. So we've got Hulk Juice on the line. The Ming Dynasty is the next one. Race 6, over 1,400 metres. Golden Mile is favourite here, 420. Zoo Tiger, 460. Conqueror, 480. Osipenko, $6. Basque $14. Brosnan, 15. Flag of Honour, 15. And you got Machelate at $19. Rise of the Masses, similar quote. And a horse like Magic, $21. And much better the rest. So we're going to have a look at the replay here of Golden Mile in the Godolphin Blue. Sort of last the fence here, maybe in the worst part of the track, and then you got Kaboo free rolling out in front. It's since gone amiss. He sticks to his task here, Golden Mile, quite well.
I watched this a lot of times. Definitely up the inside was not great. They didn't come home like super quick here, but it was still above average slightly. The winner controlled the race really well and obviously got to the absolute right part, and everything was run to suit it. It was a day where you wanted to be up there, you didn't really want to be out the back, and the couple of things I liked is that it was definitely dragged out of the race. It doesn't have to get that far back. It draws 2 on Saturday, and I don't want it to go to the fence, really. I'd rather it's sort of 6, 1 out, maybe 3 back, something like that would be perfect. Just love the way that it sustained that sprint and absolutely smashed the rest of them. I thought Kaboo was a horse that could win a race like the Golden Rose, potentially. So there's no horse of that nature here. I thought Zoo Tiger was somewhat flattered first up, ran really well, but just absolutely gifted the front and no pressure and could do whatever it wanted to do there. Here, I'd say a horse like Rise of the Masses probably holds the front, so it's probably at best going to be, outside leader if it sneaks 1 out, 1 back, okay. But very different level here. I thought Conqueror, you've just got to really sort of take it on now. It's had a really strange prep. That
2 trials. What's happened now?
Well, it went run first up, trial, then it was scratched at the gates, trial. I just got to take him on. If he beats me, barrier blankets, lugging bits, they're starting to sort of
kitchen sink job.
Yeah, they're obviously he's driving him mad. The horse that scares the absolute life out of me is Osipenko, but hopefully Jay Ford combats that with a sleepy ride. But I just love the look of this horse. Thought its trials were really good, and just looks like it's developed physically too. I just love the way it moves. This horse Osipenko. It's the thing that Josh won on it. 20s that day when it just went like a rocket.
You got wrong wallet again.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think Osipenko's scary. I see it's into $6 there. It was about $9 when I was looking last night, so sniff of money around for it. It's definitely scary, but I think if Golden Mile, just with the run under its belt, if it can settle, a lot closer naturally, I think it'll give this race a bit of a nudge.
Nico, any thoughts?
Yeah, good race. Zoo Tiger was really sort of impressive, winning his maiden last start. I agree, he's got a lot of ability, Conqueror. It's just whether he can sort of harness it this prep and they can work him out and all this new gear changes. Osipenko could be the best horse in the race. I think this is probably a Guineas sort of spring champion lead. It's probably not a great lead towards like a Golden Rose. Golden Mile, I think he won his maiden down here in Victoria, didn't he, DK?
He did, yeah.
Ballarat or something?
Yep,
I think it was Ballarat.
That's it.
So, yeah, it wouldn't shock at all if he could sit closer, like Walt said, and look like when the last start when the jockey really went for him, like sort of early in the straight, he didn't sort of know too much about the ground or really what to do, and then he really went for him and he sort of leveled out and really stuck his neck out late. But I think Osipenko could be the best horse in the race. I agree with Walt. He's also down to run in Melbourne, but he drew 15 of 16 or something in the last, so I think he'll probably head to Sydney. But yeah, he's got a fair engine, so there's plenty of angles there.
Be interesting there because I reckon, just for the stable's sake, they'd love to win this race with Conqueror. So if it was in Melbourne as well and that was their goal and, interested, they might scratch it. Just got a feeling. 1,400 first up Osipenko, or they might just let it go round. I'd say the stable wants to win this race with Conqueror. I'm just happy to take it on for the reasons we sort of talked about, hoping that Osipenko's day is not Saturday and Golden Mile's just too good for him.
Well, it just looks ready there and it's done nothing wrong. And
I just like what it did to the rest of that field in that last race from a poor position on the day.
Yeah, I love the way he chased too. Once I saw the replay, I thought, this is a typical Walt horse that you'd find.
Yeah, a bit of it. Same as Nico. It's like the best option on a tough day.
All right, the next massive race here is the Run to the Rose. Absolute beauty here. Odds courtesy of TopSport, of course. Best of Bordeaux 370, Natuno 460, 550 in secret. Scratched last week because of the bog track. Interesting horse first up here. Fireburn $6, and then you got Sajardin, $9.50. Swiss Exile $9.50. Sweet Ride $17. One in a boil over. Then you got Political Debate $19. Prometto $34, and Buenos Noches is $51. DK, since you're in really good form here, the Sajardin Trial. Can you just call this one for me? It's on the fence there. I'm going to just play the last 400 here. You got it?
Yeah, got them now as they come into view. What's wrong with the Kilmore? Was that Kilmore meeting about 3 or 4?
And it's literally the one on the fence in the white nose that you cannot see.
He just pokes his nose out now.
That's it.
And that's it. You can only really see the last two.
And you do not see anything more. That's not a cut of the vision. That's all you see.
Yeah, and then we're going to have a look at Fireburn Trial. And it's just coming into 5th on the outside. Have a look at this day.
How do you think
this isn't a patch?
Do you think it's come back a better horse?
Hey?
DK, do you think it's come back a better horse from that?
How do you get your head around this? So it's in the red sleeves. 3 wide here. Just
we think it is anyway. We're not really sure.
You can see it as clear
you
as
should have
day.
called these trials.
You see those Cranbourne trials? They come. We've seen for the last 50 metres. There's a whole Kilmore meeting. They appeared the last 20 metres. There you can see them from the 500.
At least we can kind of see how they're out there, yeah.
That's an interesting one. This bigger fish to fry. I'm a little bit worried about those horses first up, and then you got the Golden Rose in a fortnight's time. Or
isn't the market weird here?
Let's have a quick look at the San Domenico leader as well.
So this is actually really good. So you got Sweet Ride 1-1, every chance, hard fit, blah blah. Okay, so it's 20-1 on Saturday. Tell me how the horses around it have got enough excuses for this horse to be 20-1, and I don't want to back it. That's the scary part. So this race, you got Best of Bordeaux second from the outside. Spacewalk's not there. Natuno's in the yellow, Cap coming through. The winners just sort of had the nice run behind them. Swiss Exile's inside, which is in this race. But the winner, which has gapped them late and run through the line, as well as anything, is $17. And that to me shows what sort of race this is and how no one has any clue of what's going to happen. Obviously, Best of Bordeaux, they were howling how it was ridden. Had a little bit of a check out of the gates, no doubt. But
so what do they want done with it? Because that horse folded badly.
They want to lead.
But it didn't look like they had any intention to lead, or no interest.
Yeah, that's the issue, right? That's the issue that.
How can you get that so wrong? Like, I've got no insight into this situation, but it's got to be clear. We want to, this horse is a known leader. How is it just not led? How could James McDonald, the best chocolate,
have a try? Well, the problem is, mate, he is who he is. You know what I mean? And I would assume that 9 times out of 10 he goes in and listens, and he doesn't really. I'm not saying he's disrespecting owners or trainers or whatever. He's got his own plan, and that's what he goes with. And he's probably good enough to get away with it 99 times out of 100. I think maybe that one he just got wrong. Obviously, I don't know what happened at the start too. He's that good a jockey. Maybe he did just cop a squeeze and just knew that he was in a position that he couldn't overcome without killing the horse first up and all that. And he's good enough to factor all that in. That's why he is who he is. So you got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Do you think?
One time, haven't you?
Yeah, well, Natuno is an interesting one. I thought he probably acquitted himself a little bit better than I expected. You see all these Queenslanders who've had probably drier. The last 6 months have been drier and less taxing. Is that part of the reason some of these Queensland sprinters are coming down and knocking all these other horses off?
He to me, yeah, true. But he to me looked like one that was sort of more suited 1100 and he's a bit more dynamic. He's going to get a nice run here potentially. But again, I'm not sure, how that fence is going to play. If the fence is good, he's going to get a nice run. But I thought there was a horses with a lot more upside. It's going to be a different race. I think Best of Bordeaux will be ridden to lead, if it leads or not. we'll find out. Swiss Exile went well enough there to sit outside the leader or lead here and run well. But what do you do with all that form? Like Sweet Ride is going to get another nice run. It's $17. It shows me that this race is really scary. I don't think In Secret's a high level horse. It's dangerous because it's going to be fitting in a nice spot here. As you said, no Judah. Then you got Sajardin, which is the source we saw the trial.
First up horse and Fireburn.
It's going to be last. Fireburn's probably going to be back with it. She's Extreme came out and ran well on Saturday, which doesn't mean a lot because they're 2-year-olds returning as 3-year-olds, but at least it showed that form's not completely cast. This could be the most ridiculous race of the day to try and work out. That last race that they all come out of makes no sense. The one horse that can improve, I would imagine, significantly is Best of Bordeaux, because if it leads and gets in a rhythm and builds off that, I think that's what the horse is. But then you got to chime into $3.60. So how's that possible? Like if it was $6 or $7 here, which you would expect, right? I could entertain backing him to turn the tables. But other than that, the way the market is at the moment, I couldn't back Sweet Ride because I hate the horse. I can't explain what it did last start, and it's the one that looks the value to me. So that says to me, it's a cupboard race.
I could maybe back Sajardin, 2 trials. Yeah,
if it's down the outside, right? If it's down the outside and you can run on, I think they're you have to say that Sajardin and Fireburn come right into the race, even though they're first up. Very
scary race, given it's not grand final day. It just in normal circumstances, I'd maybe try my arm with a couple of these fresh horses, but again, like if they could get legless in the market because they're just not ready in there to win. Nico, can you help solve the puzzle here? DK was no good out of the fog.
Yeah, I'm not as grey as you boys. I thought In Secret was a bet. I think she ran really well first up there. Didn't sort of have everything go away in terms of the lanes she was on the track, and then sort of got out late. I think she probably should have gone very close to winning. Form out of that race has been strong with North Star last, Willinger Beast, Revolutionary Miss ran well out of it. And I think like the lead up's just very chinky for mine. Best of Bordeaux didn't jump that well. I think that has to be sort of factored into the first up right and wide. Probably J-Mac didn't. I just don't know if he would have been quick enough to even go with him. Like, you look at Rise of the Masses, puts 2 lengths on him within a few strides. So the run wasn't, there wasn't much in it. I don't think he deserves to be 370 off it, but it's probably SPs and all that. He was smashing the betting that day, $1.90. I thought Fireburn's trial was okay. I'd be surprised if Sajardin's a good 3-year-old. He looked absolute, like he won the first 2-year-old race of the season. Like they don't come on that often and tend to be great 3-year-olds. So In Secret, I think she probably should be favourite. I was happy to back her at $5.50.
That's the beauty of this race.
It's a weird one because it's an afterthought, and it was scratched last week. So I love your confidence with it, and it looks like a likely type. I guess the race is there to win, but isn't that a funny one with Best of Bordeaux? Like, looked like to me that it wasn't fit. It knocked up pretty. It was pretty weak.
I thought it actually came strongest on the line. That's the funniest part. That's the beauty of these races. It's such a head stuff, and I can't really knock because I think it's a real short course of that horse, but it could get away with this race if the narrative's right that the lead up, the Sweet Ride's crap. The other horses are going to be too far back, giving it a start, fitness, everything. Yeah, why not? Why not?
All these questions will be answered in racingwatch.com.au in the Discord channel. So make sure you have a look at that. Sign up. It's worth a membership. And I think it was like $13 or $19 winner in the trots last night. So
what about that? Like I normally just muck around there watching, and I sort of looked at his market, and he marked at $4 or whatever. Old Daisy, the super trot me in, and then I thought I'm cheering at home down the middle for him. I didn't know what price it was. Come up $21. Then I wanted to smash my head into the desk that I haven't chimed into it myself, but good on him.
I had Chinese and missed a lot. They also knocked off Alligator Blood in all in markets, $8, and there was a bit of $2.50 around the place. I was too scared to take it, but even that was just swinging in the breeze.
Well,
after final field at a couple of places. So
it's good looking at the Mondays at the moment, just trying to find an angle, isn't it? That you can do it. You can do it with, because most of the time they're set in stone. Most of their who's going to run, who's not, aren't they?
Exactly. All right. Hopefully we found your winner. But if not, make sure you check out racingwatch.com.au, and then you'll get Walt's full set for Saturday at Rosehill, which looks tricky. Next segment is, of course, Don's Best.
G'day, gents. Donny's Best for this weekend's racing. I'm heading to Noonan this week. Looks a cracker program up there. We'll start with the best bet. It's in race 9. It's called Aaron Treat for Benny Thompson. It's a really progressive horse. It's raced through the grades last preparation, finishing listed company, running second to Athelric. That horse ran second to Eduardo on the weekend, so that form should stack up for the Class 6 at Brisbane on Saturday. It's trialled really well, maps forward to midfield, and if it can handle a wet 1,200 metre distance first up, it should be winning, so the 480 looks nice. Next best, we'll go to race 4. It's called Cool Lad. First up in Newcastle, had Willie Pike on. He gave it an absolute sore back, restrained it from the widest gate and did not get out the entire straight. He still runs some really good sectionals against a really handled horse, so I think from barrier 1, it'll settle much closer here, handles wet conditions, and looks well over the odds at $14 a win and $4 a place. If you want any of my stuff for the weekend's racing, head to theraceclub.com. Good luck, gents.
This is a funny one. I think most people know race 9 as I think he's mispronounced that. Race 9, number 8. I think it's
how do you pronounce that?
R&T.
DK?
DK. A-R-E.
Best named horse in Australia.
Yeah. Oh,
I might go for one after the show.
It does look a big price without doing the race. It's got
I love the horse with a passion. I don't think it's ever won for me. It's,
480.
and it's always one of those horses, good merit in its runs. They put in slightly too hard races and it runs well and just gets knocked off. It's a good horse.
The other one's a bit tricky. Cool Lad, around a $14 mark. It's got M. Kale on it.
Gate 1.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's
want it to settle
nasty.
closer and then put M. Kale on it. That's scary.
There's a horse in that race that was another Hawkesbury scratching from Saturday All England. It ran quite well first up at Newcastle. It can run well there too at big odds.
$15. So that's race 4. So a couple of roughies there. Number 17 and 18, Cool Lad in All England. Could be value. You guys going to say something down there? Or
I got nothing.
Big bets.
DK's got his mind on other things now.
Heard a little murmur. TopSport Big Bets, the steam. These things generally go off, so make sure you jot these ones down. Rosehill Race 2, number 4 is Cecilia, $250 at $26 in the midway. Walt.
Wow, what another quality. This horse is actually flying. Who's the favourite? Jesus, Midways I tackle last. Darylina, but no. Kips Bay was in that race we just looked at as well in Brisbane, so it's a dual acceptor. Barticelli, oh my God, they're going to fly here. Cecilia's a leader. There's 6 leaders, 7 leaders.
Reese on board.
Reese on board. Holy heck. Cool Lads in that race as well. Wow, there's a lot of leaders there. If the track shows up dry, have something on Too Good to Be True at 20s. And if you're on Cecilia as well at 25.
Flemington Race 4, number 12. Someone's out of Gizzard on Blazer Trail. This could be your money, Nico. $400 at $14. Guts of a Monkey, $400.
Betting all right, Nico. Betting all right.
I wish it was.
Paying for the car.
I missed out on a bit of 14s, but fair bet. I'm still happy to chime in at 11s, so 14s would have been good for that punter.
They got the TopSport top-up, so make sure you push that button, get a little bit of a boost. Everyone gets a boost, not restricted to any comers, which is good stuff. Nico, you can't deny this one again. You've gone in for race 8, number 4, Rockin' Horse, $226. So
he's had the all up.
Yeah, well, he's had 2 bets.
He's probably had 800 on the all up too.
He's probably used my $500 voucher, then chucked in an extra 100 himself. Rockin' Horse, $200 at 26, and now it's into about $18 or $17. So that's a good one. And then this is Kelton Country and Beat the Bagman territory here. Race 9, Morphettville. Number 8 is Manage the Cycle.
Hope it's not on the quick
$1,000
backup.
at $4.20.
Hope it's not on the quick backup, whether it's playing within the rules of how many times it's allowed to run the cycle.
I tell you what, that is the most amazing thing that I've seen in the week. And if we weren't doing the duck race and the barrier draw for Terminal Stakes Day stream, I would have definitely added it to the run sheet. But I think James Safaris wrote the story, and it's about a trainer, Garrett Lynch, and he's got an owner, a customer, and they've been racing multiple horses on the backup, and they've been winning races. It sounds like they've won 4 or 5 or 6 races in the last sort of month. Horse on the backup. Sounds like they've done it with 5 or 6 horses, and they're getting good results. It's something that Grant Young may have done in the past as well. I know that as a punter, the big syndicates and teams, they love backing big horses off to 3 and 2 and 4.
It's more the welfare aspect. They want to. Sometimes they're running them 3 times a week, So I mean, that's it. They've just got to be wary of that welfare stuff. But anyway, that's don't worry about that. I'll tell you what is. I watched .com yesterday, and I don't. We launched. Scoot, you can take credit for these, but Jay Kelton is elite. I tell you, his assessments and his stuff, and I just had it on yesterday and just had my ears pricked for them when he does the mounting yard and all those horses over there, even the crappy ones in benchmark 54s and whatever they got over there. He knows them. He knows them all. He knows everything about them. He's just been he's a breath of fresh air on that Racing.com podcast. And even though his best bets didn't win yesterday, they ran hells of races. So tune into him. He's the best part that we're going over there.
And he's always been deadly. We did that night at Moonee Valley where he was absolutely savage there. He's always been a sharp punter. And I tell you what, he loves the industry. And I think the first time I met him, I was with Betfair over in Adelaide, and he was a big advocate of trying to make wagering sustainable. And every time I speak to him about certain issues or, punters, committees and stuff like that, he's like, yep, I'll help. I'll do whatever I can. So I think he's, second or third generation in racing, and he just absolutely loves it. I know his sons and everyone love it. So I think he's a breath of fresh air. And I was surprised because JJ's hard, big shoes to fill. Yeah. And John Kelton's just
Matty
like
Welsh,
duck to water.
They're the sort of people the public needs to hear from, Someone with his background and his love for the caper and his knowledge to help, he's also educating when he's speaking. People are listening to him. And for Matty Welsh to go over and put something to him to say, rather than sitting at home betting, can you come and do something and, promote the industry, racing in your state? And the good bloke he is, he's obviously jumped at it, which is fantastic.
He's like the opposite of the never meet your heroes, because I remember I've known his name for a long time, watching it on the screen come up, and he'd have $100 on something in Adelaide, and that'd promote about 44,000 in turnover from our office alone at BetEasy. And most of the time when you meet these people, it's them. Like it'll be their next door neighbour. They're it's not them that's generating the information, and it's just someone they've followed or whatever, and he's certainly the real deal. He's one that lives up to the hype.
Exactly. So we need all these guys to stay afloat in the game, and that's why I keep banging on about percentage of markets and getting on for a fair bet. And classic example, if you have a look at my Twitter feed last week, I tried to have a mug bet on Cam Smith in the Live Golf 200 at Ladbrokes or wherever. TopSport weren't up on the market just yet. I'm just sitting there guessing. I can't touch the 550 at Bet365. I've got no insight. I'm just like, Cam's within the mix here. I'm going to throw a dart here, $200. I wasn't doing anything wrong, and then bang, they let me on for $80 to win 320, and that's why 95% of my business is with TopSport.
Yeah, and you go backwards.
I'm betting in pesos.
What you're talking about. If you had a personal people of the level of John Kelton, there aren't that many of them that exist and that want to share their information. But if you have that level of person on a Sky channel, same as Racing.com, that's a huge platform, the turnover that would drive,
it's just going to
compared to what we listen to on a day-to-day basis. And I'm not knocking the people individually; they're not trained to do what they're doing. It's like I don't know. It's like sending someone in to be a doctor that's worked as a checkout chick. It's not the same thing. So you can't blame them for the job they're doing. But when someone that's like highly skilled like John and the turnover that he would instantly drive. If you had like half a dozen of them on Sky as well, my God, how can that be bad for the industry?
There's a pattern though, isn't it? As soon as you leave Little Birdie, you kick. So
where do I leave?
I don't know. I just need to lock the doors and just go somewhere else myself.
Somewhere else.
We'll all kick. We'll just turn off the lights.
Where do we have to go? Anywhere? Just anywhere.
But that is spot on, Walt. That is spot on. I had no interest in Murray Bridge. I hadn't done any form, but I thought he's an absolute gun. And I was sitting around. I was just watching, doing some videos and stuff. And I thought, when the race is up, have a listen and see what he likes. And I was just having a little pickle away. But yeah,
and you're not someone that's going to do that traditionally. You know what I mean? No. So it's basically bringing you out of retirement. So what's it going to do to the person who's sitting there keen to go? Yeah. And now they're backing a winner. They're turning the money over. Wow.
Betting with confidence.
How good.
That's the whole thing.
And as I said, I was on his best value and his best bet. And they didn't win. They were huge runs. Like one was 15. His best value was $15. Got home like a steam train, and his best bet was $6 and set up 3 wide on the pace, and the favourite, the suck run behind it, and nailed it though. Best bet $6 and best value is $15. They both ran second. Terrific. So he's a beauty, Johnny Kelton.
It's been a great show. We've done the barrier draw for the stream, which is going to be fantastic. If you're interested to throw a dart and try and win you or your mates or your dad or a golf lover that you know and get them a spot over to the US Masters Augusta, we'll launch that one tomorrow, I think, or Monday at the latest. So make sure you head to @LittleBirdieTV or just head to our website, littlebirdie.tv, and there'll be more details around that one. Very excited.
Is it settled with a duck race? How are we drawing the raffle? Is it a duck race of all the people in the raffle?
I had paddle pop sticks ready to go in a stubby holder, so this is not rautable. I'll hold it so Walt can't look at it, and then next thing you know, he throws us off with this stupid duck. Goodbye. Good luck on the weekend.